Perfect. And now I hear you.
Go
Perfect.
ahead.
Take it away, gentlemen.
All right.
All right.
Uh,
Go ahead,
I'm gonna,
Brian.
sure. I want to wait until the clock hits exactly 2. All right.
Excellent.
Welcome everybody to today's update. Good information for you again. Making a lot of progress. See, the number of people is okay. Well, I think we're good. Um, so again, what I want to go over today, I want to discuss the progress that we're making on the replacement token. I want to take questions that we've been fielding basically out of the various channels. And I want to talk about some good news for some people, and certainly potential good news and good news all around. Um, but maybe it's interesting to start, Peter. We really haven't discussed this because you're on the road, the agenda today, but maybe it's interesting to start with a little story about what has transpired with the tokens that were outstanding. Um,
Sure. So we reached back out to the person who sent us the message yesterday and uh, explained to them that there was no problem with we didn't have to, replace the liquidity for them to send back the tokens. And so, of course, knowing that I believe he thought we were going to be stupid and just say, oh, yeah, send them back afterwards. But since we knew he did send back the tokens, so the 547,000 tokens were returned back to the wallet. And Brian, I'll tell you why that's a good thing. We still are proceeding with a relaunch of the token. There's a lot of benefits there that will happen, but at least
yes.
now those were returned back to us. And again, I don't think he was planning on returning him back to us. He was caught. He knew he was caught. So to cover his tracks, he or she, I don't know if it's a man or a woman, guys, we don't know, just decided to do it. But it's a good thing that it was done.
So very interesting developments. I mean, obviously being proactive, and now the tokens have been returned, and you'll see why that is potentially good news later in this update. But I think I'll get to the most critical stuff, which is the progress that we're making. So the project manager leading the developers, Doug, got us a couple of reports today on the progress. Things are looking very good. A couple of minor issues with the new smart contract that we need to discuss before the developers get back to it. But I believe that those will all be resolved in the call that we're having after this meeting. Um, and uh, um, as far as the audit goes, I got a report earlier today from Peter and team that the auditors have been responsive. They've been receptive to the idea that they're going to expedite this audit, and they've been discussing a very rapid turnaround, which should be 24 hours or so from the time that the smart contract is completed. So,
Yeah, and so
I
Brian,
can't go ahead.
let me add a little bit there, which is, guys, that means that they'll get it back to us. But if there's any problems that need to be fixed, that will take a day. Then they'll re-audit it. So it's anywhere between, if everything's perfect, day one, boom, 24 hours ready. If there's some changes, the devs will make the changes. Then it'll go back, and that'll take another day. So it could be 1 to 3 days for it to be completed, and then at that point, we'll relaunch, do the relaunch.
Right. So certainly will not happen tomorrow. Um, Outside chance of a relaunch if all the stars align, maybe Wednesday. But I think realistically, the first day that we're really looking at after doing a test net, trials and all of that jazz is probably Thursday. And I think that that's not unreasonable. I would say Thursday maybe is the over under 50-50, um, uh, uh, depending on what's found. So, uh, and lots of benefits with the new smart contract that obviously we've discussed previously will allow us to prevent this type of thing from happening in the future, because we'll just be able to blacklist or freeze the wallet that is holding the ill-gotten tokens. Um, so I think that's the update on time frame. I don't think there's anything else. And of course, if you're here, there's 42 people monitoring chat if that's live. I'm not the host of the webinar, but I want to respond to questions and everything. So while we wait for any of that, other areas that we want to discuss.
So yeah, Brian, do we want to go into the big one? Because it's something that I've never seen another token do ever. And I've been
Sure.
involved in a few tokens that have been hacked. And I
Yep.
saw a price drop and I said, oh, let me go buy. And then come to find out that they were going to reissue a new token. So
I know
we're
that
going to do,
there are people who are nervous, and I have told them they will want to
don't,
listen in. So
yeah,
let's just get to it.
don't be nervous. So, guys, we're going to look at the trading that took place. If somebody bought and held, so let's say you're somebody who said, hey, wow, there's a dip here. It's cheap. I'm going to buy $100 worth. What we're going to do, and again, no one that I know of has ever done this. We are going to issue you some of the new tokens at the 35 cents per token. So you're not going to get the quantity of tokens if you bought them at 2 or 3 cents, right? Which is but normally that's what you're stuck with. What we're going to do is I'm going to say $35 just to make it easy on myself. You'll receive 100. It won't be done on the day of launch. It'll take us a couple days. We got to go through, do the accounting, do all that stuff, see who bought and sold. Because if you bought it and you sold it for in the similar price range, you already took some profit or took your small loss, whatever that is. But for the people that thought, hey, I'm on board with this project and I'm buying a dip, we are going to fix that and get that done by issuing the new reissue token at 35 cents for the money that you spent on it. And again, I've done this 3 or 4 times with other projects, guys, and they never did this for me. Never
Right.
in a million years did they ever do it.
So I think, what the message we want to send and the takeaway for everybody is, we don't want anybody ever to lose money with us. And even though we didn't receive the funds, although that's not entirely true, we did, try to manage the trading. And so we were able to pull out a small reserve of funds, after the supposed trading freeze, because we couldn't actually freeze trading. And we're going to use that pool to be able to compensate, anybody who came in. As Peter said, you buy $350 worth of tokens. Well, that money went to somebody who was selling tokens, but we're going to turn around and issue you 1,000 tokens of the new tokens, so that you're, as if you bought them on the open market at the time of the freeze. And hopefully, obviously, as Peter says, it is going to take us a significant, well, I don't know significant, but we want to go through and diligently do the accounting to make sure that, the right people are being compensated, and there's no, craziness happening. But once we've got that sorted, we'll get that out. So,
Right. And then also,
and
guys, we had a couple people that provided some liquidity. We're going to get them taken care of. So there will be no loss to anyone in those frames in that framework of what's there. We're going to get everybody taken care of.
So with all of that, I would admonish everybody still, do not trade this token right now. This offer is only valid for legitimate people who were believing that, there was a dip. And at this point, everybody should know that this is not really a trading token at this moment, though I have a couple of ideas, and I don't know. I always really try to make lemonade out of lemons. And so I think maybe I'll go into that and then answer a couple of questions.
Yeah.
The way that the way that we launched this token, this contract is out there, and it's essentially immutable. There will be a token under this contract address that will continue to trade. There will be fewer than 30 million tokens, and I don't know. It always seems to me like the opportunities appear in the most bizarre places. So this is sort of the OG. It's a um, uh, bragging rights token, and I'm thinking of rebranding it as the Otherverse bragging rights token. We may find a use for it in the future. There may be various things that pop up that have a use for a token that's out there for the people who were, early adopters. Um, I'm honestly tempted once we've relaunched the token to put a little bit of liquidity back in and, have your original tokens as the bragging rights kind of meme coin, non-utility, but for Otherverse. Um, and something in my brain just says that as things blow up, I mean, I've seen this before. I remember watching like the Hertz bankruptcy, I think it was, and just shocked that even though the stock was known to have zero value because all of the stock was going to be deleted, basically, as the creditors got, all of the assets, the stock would still trade and sometimes pump really hard. And I see these kind of things and think, who is buying that stock? Well, here the token was going to live on under this contract address, so there may be some value down the road. I wouldn't just ditch these tokens for nothing. I'll put it that way, and it could be a fun little side project. Yeah, the jail token, exactly. Right? Maybe. Why not? There really might be a use for it. We did go through a huge amount of work and cost to get this token launched. I'm just not convinced that, there's now, and that's the value of this person having returned the tokens, is now there isn't, well, I'm not afraid of, well, if the token actually gains some value, that a hacking group is going to benefit. Because those tokens have been returned, there's some flexibility on our side, and we may end up doing something. Um,
Yes, yes. So real
so
quick, there's a question in there. If you held tokens before we pulled the liquidity, guys, and they're staked or they're in your wallet, you will be replaced 100%. You own 192 tokens, you're going to get 192 of the relaunch token. If you have 50,000 staked, you're going to get 50,000 of the relaunch token. Same tokenomics, everything's the same of that project. So when we were talking about at the point 35, we were talking about that for only the people who purchased after the liquidity was pulled that legitimately thought, oh, wow, there's a deal. They didn't look at liquidity. They didn't look at that stuff. So those are two separate situations. I don't want you guys to confuse the two. Okay.
and yes, if you have tokens staked, I want to reiterate this, that the staked tokens continue to earn the staking rewards. Those will be added in. Those will be issued as the new replacement token. So staked tokens are safe and will be, returned to you with the rewards and the replacement token. Um, I see we were asked what safeguards we will have for the future. The new smart contract will include multiple layers of safeguard that will allow us to um, freeze a wallet that has been involved in a hack. And so this is going to provide really solid safeguarding against this in the future. There are other safeguards that will, potentially be in there. I don't want to go into all of the details, but let's just say it's a more advanced smart contract that will, I don't expect a hack in the future from our side. This was a vulnerability that appeared for a very short period of time and was
Yes.
exploited
And
in that
also,
in that time frame.
yeah, this was not a smart contract hack, guys. Our smart contract was never at risk. What ended up happening is somebody front run the collection area where we were collecting the addresses to send the tokens to, and so they front ran that. We have put things in place now where that can never happen again. Right? This will never happen again in this respect at all. We've now and again, I don't want to get into all the safety features and stuff that we've
Right.
put in place, but it will not happen again.
And What is very important though is in the event that another, like one of you, is hacked, that's where these safety features are going to come in. If we have a user wallet that's hacked, a hacking attack against community, we'll have the safety features to be able to shut those down. And that's really why I want to put the safety features in at this point. I know that our smart contract won't be hacked. I know our database now is not hackable. Well, I should never say not hackable, but this won't happen. But with these precautionary additions to the smart contract, we would be able to potentially recover against a community member who's hacked or something like that.
As
And
long
so
as
that's,
it's done within a timely manner, guys. The
yes, of
person
course,
hasn't sold
right?
the tokens off already, right? So there's caveats to, if somebody hacked you and you get to us quick enough before they're able to sell off the tokens, we would be able to put a freeze on that, and then hopefully have the hacker realize their things and just send the tokens back, or just leave, give you back your
Hopefully it
whatever,
doesn't
allow
happen.
you to do it, right? Yeah, and hopefully it doesn't happen at
Mostly
all. But if it
saying,
does, there's a chance
right,
at least, right?
right. So let's see. I'm looking for other questions. If you were in the snapshot, you're getting the replacement tokens. There's nothing you need to do. And that is still all true and correct. There's going to be an airdrop, and we're going to make announcements. And don't believe any airdrop until you hear them directly from us. So again, safety first. Don't click any links. Don't follow anything. There's going to be an announcement on the front page of otherverse.io with the contract address. You'll look at that contract address, confirm that it is our token that has come in. As far as uh, let's see. So yeah, stake tokens will go back into the
Staking,
staking
yeah. So
contract
let,
or our
yeah,
phantom mode.
yes.
Good
No,
question.
it will go in the staking contract, guys. So what will happen is we will, once the new token is hooked to the staking contract, we will deposit them on the staking contract. You'll go in and hit a confirmation button, and then it'll continue your stake. Because otherwise, we'd have to pull back all the interest. So because you got the interest on the for staking at that period of time, so they will not go to your Phantom wallet. They'll go in the staking contract. You'll confirm it. You'll continue to get interest, and you've been earning interest all through this whole 3 or 4 days.
Well,
That has
staking
not stopped.
rewards.
Staking
Staking
rewards. I'm
rewards.
sorry. Yeah, staking
Yeah,
rewards.
it's
Sorry.
shorthand to say interest, but it's not
Right.
really interest. It's the staking
Right.
rewards, right?
Staking rewards. So so you won't have to do anything on that except go in and hit a button to confirm, and that is only to make the connection point between your wallet and them to where what can claim the claim. Basically, what you're doing when you go in and confirm it, you're saying this is the wallet to claim those tokens. Okay, so it's all protected, everything's safe, but we're going to auto stake those for you for the same period of time that's left on your staking that you've already agreed to. All right.
Sounds good. Okay. You know, we're making great progress. I wish I could wave a magic wand and get everything done immediately, but of course, we're busting on all fronts to make this happen as quickly as possible. Um, there um, there's obviously more happening behind the scenes all the time, and there's still a lot of work to do. But I got to say, I'm really excited about a few things, and I know it's wrong to say I'm excited, but in a way that I really am excited about the relaunch on CoinMarketCap, the new launch on CoinGecko. The possibility that the old UTHX becomes just an OG sort of meme token at some level. And so, rewards to everybody. We've got some other ideas percolating that, we're going to discuss, but it's not appropriate to do it in this update, but other benefits that we're looking at giving to everybody because, you've been so great. And really, the one thing that Peter and I discuss all the time with regards to the token is, nobody gets hurt. Everybody is, it's always, whatever we can do to make sure that everybody benefits. So that's, the plan moving forward. And we couldn't do it without all of you. So, grateful for your understanding and support.
And I have to say, guys, what makes this a lot easier is the support you guys have given us. The thank yous, the hey, you guys are doing the right thing. That means so much, right? Than to having a whole bunch of people, beating us up, a little here and there, a couple people that, but for the most part, 98% all positive. We appreciate that. It really does. This was a hard decision to make, guys. This was not a flippant decision where we said, hey, this was a lot of gnashing of teeth and going back and forth and discussing options and everything else. So extremely hard because you never know how a community or a group of people are going to react, right? So you've got to kind of weigh all the different things. So it was very hard to do. You guys have made it much more of a positive experience for us, and hopefully we're doing the same thing for you guys.
Yeah. So thank you, everybody. Thanks again, Peter, for doing this while you're on the road. And we'll be back tomorrow with more news.
Yep. So look
same
for a
channel,
post, guys.
hopefully.
We'll let you know what time tomorrow, and probably in a similar time frame. But we'll let you know exactly what time tomorrow, and just look for the post. Probably at least a couple hours before we actually have it. We'll get the post out to you guys. All right.
Great.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Take care.